You will recall Mephistopheles' last words in Goethe's Faust, "Stay moment, thou art so fair." And when John Kennedy mentioned this at the Paulskirche in Frankfurt in that famous speech, he said, "Change is the law of life." I was talking to Gail May, who's done a lot to help me with this event, about the famous Italian novel The Leopard, which she said, you'll see a quote from it actually on the inside cover of your programme, from the novel by Giuseppe di Lampedusa, which was of course essentially an autobiographical novel. And you'll remember the famous Visconti film, probably Burt Lancaster's most famous role, where he played Prince Don Fabrizio, the Prince of Salina, who was a lion of the old school, a lion in winter. And his nephew, Tancredi, the son he wished he had had, who was very taken by Garibaldi and by the Risorgimento and by what was coming that was new, said to his uncle, he said, "Uncle, uncle, don't you see, if we want things to stay as they are, things will have to change." I did consider some other titles for the seminar. We know change is coming, but I did think of one or two other titles. How should Norfolk be set in aspic? How should Norfolk turn its face away from the world? But it felt to me that didn't quite capture the zeitgeist, and I feared if I called it that, you might not have come. We have some terrific speakers this morning. I'd like to thank all of them, although first may I thank our sponsors, New Anglia Lab and Mark Pendleton, who is here somewhere. Mark, can you put your hand up? Go ahead. Can't see him at the moment. He'll be handing over. The Maids Head Hotel, who've been extremely generous. The Abellio Greater Anglia, Norwich International Airport, Barclays, Saffron Housing Association, the Swallowdale Print, can't read my own handwriting, and indeed Anglian Water. Thank you very much to all our sponsors. A particular thank you to all our speakers for agreeing to give of their time in this way. We have Matthew Rice, a distinguished author and architectural artist who wrote the book Building Norfolk, who will be speaking about the genius of place. We have Ted Stevens, the founder of the National Custom Self-Build Association, who will be talking about how helping people helping themselves can be life-changing. We have Professor Tim Stone of the Bartlett School of Architecture, who runs the firm Space Syntax, who will be talking about the intelligent use of space using evidence. We have Professor Charles Handy, who is, and I don't want to embarrass him by saying so, but it's simply a fact that he is a global brand. He's probably one of the most important management thinkers that this country has ever produced, and his latest book, The Second Curve, builds on an entire lifetime of experience. So we have Charles Handy. We're very grateful to you, Charles. We have Jim McKinnon, the trustee of the Prince's Foundation for Building Community, the former chief planner of Scotland, who's going to talk about how planning is just the start of the process. We have Yolanda Barnes, the head of World Research for Savills. I was talking to Greg Clark the other day about Yolanda mentioning this seminar, and I said, "Do you know Yolanda?" And Greg said, "Oh, everybody knows Yolanda." So we're very grateful to you, Yolanda. We have Andrew Cameron from WS Parsons Brinkhoff, one of the world's leading experts on the use of planning for movement and how you can at the same time have good movement and good places for people to live. We have David Waterhouse, who's speaking instead of Claire Devine. In fact, it was always a toss-up whether we have Claire Devine, the director of the Design Council, or David, the head of strategy. And on the toss of a coin at the very last minute, we've got David, and he's going to talk about embedding high quality in design. And we have David Ames from Letchworth Garden City, whom I'm particularly excited to have here, because I saw him speak when I was at an event at the National Exhibition Centre only a few weeks ago, where I saw him speak, and I'm sure you're all going to greatly enjoy what he has to say. I should mention, Jim McKinnon has banned the use of the word vision. You'll recall George Bush Sr. admitted that he wasn't very good at the vision thing. Jim has banned it on the basis that, as he put it, and I can't disagree with this, there is a fine line between vision and hallucination. You will remember the James Bond film Tomorrow Never Dies, in which Elliot Carter, the mad media mogul, plans world domination. And when he explains his plan for world domination, James Bond says, "Elliot, you're insane." To which Elliot Carter replies, "Mr. Bond, the difference between genius and insanity is measured only by success." Canon Shannon Ledbetter, whom I was hoping might have been able to be here, the chairman of Housing People Building Communities, a self-help group that's been very successful in Liverpool, which I visited only recently. Although she looks to all intents and purposes like a normal Anglican cleric, was in fact in a previous life a Bond girl, and she was in that very film wearing a £250,000 type red rubber dress, but that is to digress. And I'm under a very strict injunction from Jackie Sadek, Greg Clark's special advisor for regeneration, not to digress, so I'm not going to. I'm only going to say this. As the great Victor Rothschild said, think the unthinkable, but wear a dark suit when you're presenting the results. What we're trying to do here is something quite fundamental. We're trying, and I'll tell you more about the expert groups later in the morning, and where you are sitting is not by accident, and you're already sitting in your expert groups. But the fundamental question which we are trying to answer is, how should Norfolk grow? How do we make Norfolk the best place to live in the country? Now, many people think Norfolk already is the best place to live in the country, and of course, they're right. But we are still a net exporter of skills. So many of our young people who are born here and grow here don't necessarily hold that view. They feel they have to go elsewhere to achieve their full potential. How do we make Norfolk the best place to achieve all of that potential? The best place to get an education, the best place to get skills, to put down roots, to start a business in a digital economy that works with the best broadband and the best mobile coverage, to build a house, to raise a family, to be part of a community. That's what we're going to talk about today.